Ask yourself this question. What are the two most important days in my life? The day you were born and the day you found out why. Now, the first one is easy. That's your birthday, isn't it? The second one, do you know why? If you're thinking to yourself, well, kind of, maybe, sort of, no, then you're in the right place. Because the answer is the day you found out what your superpower is. And you're probably thinking, what? I don't have a superpower. But here's the thing. You do. You may not know what it is at the moment, but you do have a superpower. We all have one. And this is the podcast to answer the question, what's my superpower? So welcome to the What's My Superpower podcast. My name's Nigel T. Best. I'm your host. And who knows, today listening to the podcast could be the day you find out the answer to what's my superpower. Today could be the day, the second most important day of your life when you work out why you are here. Why you are here. And what I want to do is, in the podcast, is explain how we can reveal your superpower. How we can give you the courage to get out there, the bravery that sometimes you feel you need in order to use your superpower. And the thing is, most people say, well, okay, well, why? You know, is it important? I think, yes, it is, because we're all born with a superpower. And the idea is that that superpower is given to you so you can make a contribution to the world. But the problem is most of us don't have a clue what our superpower is. And we've got even less idea about how to find it. So that's what we're going to be doing. We're going to be looking at how you can unearth your superpower. We're going to be looking at methods, strategies, the ways of thinking, ways of looking at things, perspectives, understanding, simple exercises you can do that can help reveal to you what your superpower is. Now, you might be thinking, well, I don't believe in it. That's fine. But let's just go with the flow. Open your mind up and say, you were born to bless the lives of others. And you were born because the world needs you. And you were born to contribute. And if you look at the world at the moment, you're probably thinking to yourself, tell you what, we need a few superheroes out here at the moment because the way things are going, you know, it could be horrifying. It could overwhelm you. But if you just think there's 7 billion of us, if we suddenly had 7 billion superheroes, how good would the world be? And that's what, okay, now that is a massive goal, isn't it? To reveal the superpower for all 7 billion of us. Okay, well, if I did it for 7 people and they shared that and they each got 7 people and they each shared it and got another 7 people, it might not be, if you sit down and do the maths, too long before those 7 billion people could all be reached. Their superpowers could be unearthed. And the answer to what's my superpower will be obvious. You will reveal what your superpower is, but then that's only part of the solution, because once you've revealed your superpower, you've got to be able to put it into action. And that's what this podcast is going to be all about, how you can do that and get it out in front of the world. But for some people, they might want to ignore it. For some people, they might want to deny it. For some people, they might want to fight it. But I just want to flip that, turn it on its head and say, hey, why not embrace it? Why not live it? Why not share it with the world? Share your contribution, because your superpower could be anything, literally anything. And when you realize what it is, you will, I guarantee you will feel better. You will feel whole. You will feel complete. These are the sort of words that people describe when they find what it is they love to do and they are good at doing. And that's all a superpower is. It's what you love to do and what you are good at doing. But you might still be sat there sort of thinking, Nige. This isn't for me. This isn't for the likes of me. I'm not one of these people that is going to have a superpower. What on earth are you talking about? This is all nonsense. Thank you very much, but I don't want to. Well, just before you go, I just want to ask, have you ever felt, and however fleetingly, just that moment where you feel that you're meant for something more than just this, more than what you are now, more than something so undefinable, so small, so nuanced, so tricky to describe, that you felt that at some point. Well, I would say you are like me, I'm like you, and you and me are like pretty much the rest of the world, because I'm sure we've all felt at some point that there must be something we have to do. There must be some reason, that we're here and that we've been given whatever talents we've been given. And we've all been given talents. And it's those talents that are actually our superpower. And, you know that there's more to life than maybe where you're at the moment. And you might be feeling lost, confused. And you've got this element within you, this little ember that's burning, just smouldering away. And you just think to yourself, every so often, you give it a bit of oxygen and it burns a bit brighter and you feel a bit better. That's that element that I think is your superpower. Just giving a little glint in the sunshine, just revealing itself a little bit. And that's what's missing, is the ability to reveal that superpower, to make yourself feel complete, to make yourself feel whole, to make yourself feel like you are making the difference. We're looking for your superpower. Now, that piece in the jigsaw that would complete the picture, the superpower that means we can contribute to the world, the superpower where we feel worthy, we feel happy, we feel joyous, we feel fulfilled, whatever it is, you're still probably thinking, what if I don't know my superpower? What if I haven't got a superpower? What if I'm one of these people that just doesn't have one? You're still here on the podcast with the title, What's My Superpower? And at the moment, I don't know what your superpower is. But don't you think it'd be pretty cool to stick around on the podcast, keep listening, and let's find it out together? I want to hear from people who sort of go, hey, bang, all of a sudden you made me stop, pause, think, and really delve deep into myself and think, right, what is it that makes me truly happy? What is it that I love doing? What is it I love sharing? What is it I could contribute to the world? And that moment that you do it, that you find that, you reveal that superpower, that is the day, the second most important day of your life. And I want you to write it down. I want you to put a date on it. The date that you found out what's my superpower. Now, as I say, my name's Nigel T. Best, and I'm, at the time of recording this, it doesn't quite seem real because, when I was a kid and I looked at people who were 50 years old, I used to think, my goodness me, they are so close to dying. But now I'm 50, I think, hold on a second, I've got unfinished business. I've got my superpower. I need to use it. And it's taken me 50 years to kind of work out what my superpower is. And I think that my superpower is the ability to help other people reveal their superpower. Now, I said your superpower could be anything, didn't I? I didn't mean fly like a bird or, laser eyes or anything like that. But it's taken me all this time to sort of go through, but what is it that I love doing, for people? I love to see the moment of realization in someone's eyes when they get something. When the phrase, when the penny drops, And I know teachers sometimes get it when they're teaching kids and it's taking ages and they're just going over it. And all of a sudden the kid turns around and says, oh, so you mean if I do this and this, then it gives that? And the teacher looks at them, they look at the teacher, and they both realize we've got it. That's what I love doing. I love doing that for other people. And in terms of my superpower, I kind of, people sort of go, okay, Nigel, well, obviously you got given a superpower and you were told and you were given a guidebook and a handbook and full instructions and rules and all the rest of it. No. And I'd say that I have kind of tried lots of things in my 50 years, and it's taken me ages to get to this point. And I thought, right, okay, here we go. I've got to get this out on a podcast. I'm recording it as well, so I'm going to put it onto YouTube. I said, because I've got to start doing this. And I've met some amazing people along the way who, and whether I've met them in person or I've read their books or consumed their stuff, all of these little bits have been in there, and they've all been saying, okay, do a little bit more. And I liken it to people giving you a spade, a shovel, a pickaxe, a bucket where you can start chipping away and removing the stuff that's hiding your superpowers, and gradually it reveals it. Now, I feel that at the age of 50, I feel incredibly grateful and quite frankly amazed that I feel that I've found something that I regard is my superpower. And I think, God, you're 50. What the hell were you playing at for the other 49 years? How come it's taken so long? But then I think to myself, well, hey, look, it's been revealed to me now. I've found it. I've dug it out. I've cleared it out. I've revealed it. Many people may live to be 100, and they never find it. And so you could look at it in two ways. And I guess this is all about perspective, isn't it? You could say I've wasted 50 years, or you could say, no, I was just chipping away for 50 years to reveal my superpower. And now I've got it. Now I can do something with it. Because people may say, well, hang on, if you say you've got it, you must have had it, have had it for years. And probably I did. And say, well, why didn't you use it earlier? So, well, I don't know. Why don't we? And I think sometimes you might be nervous about it. You might think to yourself, well, that's what I really enjoy doing, but that's, not what people said I should do. I should get a sensible job. I should do this. I should do that. You don't want to do that. There's no job in that. And whatever it is, all those reasons, for some reason, we kind of bury it. So rather than reveal our superpower, what we find is society, friends, family, ourselves, we tend to bury it. We tend to hide it. And we use phrases like, you shouldn't blow your own trumpet, to kind of, we feel under pressure, don't we? And essentially we lose it, and we come and we conform, and we go to the norms and the expectations, and this isn't what superpowers, this isn't what superheroes do. Superheroes are not normal. We are all not normal, but we feel under immense pressure to conform to that normality. And I think, over time, we lose the feeling that we have a superpower. And as a result of that, I think the world can miss out on what your superpower is and what you could do to it. So this podcast is simple. It's all about how we can reveal your superpower and be brave enough to use it. Okay? Now, I'm recording this, but when I was writing down some notes about this, and I was saying, you've got to chip away and you've got to reveal your superpower because the world needs it. Well, okay, now this might sound uber corny, and it might sound like, people always say, Nigel, you're full of it. At least I think it is the word that they say. Well, this is a case of this actually happened. I was sat at the desk, and I was writing some notes on what I wanted to say, because your first episode on a podcast is the one that apparently most people go back to. Okay, so they might pick up, they might start at episode 25, but what they do is they go back to the beginning. And normally the beginning one is awful. It's terrible, it's really badly done, and I'm probably no exception to that. However, I thought I'm going to write out some stuff. And as I was writing about reveal, it was about 5:30 in the evening, and I've got my notes. I even wrote it down because it had been cloudy. It was a cloudy day, 5:30 in the afternoon. It's kind of just coming into autumn. So here in the UK, it was still light. And it being cloudy, solid banks of cloud, hour after hour after hour that day. And right at the moment where I said you've got to reveal what your superpower is, the smallest of gaps appeared in the clouds. And in that little gap, I was perfectly aligned with the sun, and I got full sunshine shining directly through the window, onto my face, onto the desk, onto where I was writing. And I thought, right, the voice inside my head said, if you tell people this, they will look at you and go, that's utter, and insert a word. But that's what happened. Now, you can say, well, yeah, that was just coincidence. Or you could say, that's my first review of this podcast, and I'm going to take that as a 5-star review. I don't know. Which is it? It made me feel good. It made me feel great. It made me think, okay, I think I'm on the right track. So that's why I'm doing it. And what I would urge you is keep listening to the podcast. Now, not everything I talk about on the podcast or with guests coming on, not everything that we discuss and talk about will be for you. But what I want you to do is what I always do. You know, if you're ever invited to a meeting or a conference or an event or some training or something, some people go in with an attitude of, I've paid money for this, I want massive value. I go in and I think, yeah, okay, I might have paid money for this, but I am after one little nugget, one little rough diamond that is handed to me in that training or conference or meeting. And with that little nugget or that little rough diamond, it can be polished up and made into something of great value to me. What you might find is that is one phrase, one sentence, one word, one thought, one idea, and that's it. Out of the entire, you might be there for 3 days. And it was one phrase by one person on the last day, just as you're about to, think, how am I going to get home? What am I going to have for my tea? There's one phrase, it jumps out, and it jumps out to you, and it really speaks to you. And you think, that's it. That's why I was here for 3 days. That's why I sat here through all that other stuff that I didn't think was relevant to me at all. That's the phrase. And that's what I want you to do with this podcast, is listen to them. Maybe listen to them twice and think to yourself, what's the one thing I can take from that episode? What's the one thing that maybe is not right for you, but you know someone and you share that thought, that idea, that concept, that strategy. You share that with someone else. Maybe your superpower is to pick up on what other people say and distill it into one sentence that you can pass on to somebody else that could make the difference in their life because it helps reveal their superpower to themselves. That's what I'm asking you to do with this podcast. Nothing more, nothing less. I'm going to be, where there's references to books or where there's references to some sort of document or PDF or guide or action checklist or whatever it is, I'll give you that as well to help you. But never think to yourself that you've got to get, if the podcast is 30 minutes long, never think to yourself, I need to, get something in every second of every minute of that entire podcast. No, you are looking for one nugget. When you get that nugget, write it down. Or if you're listening to it, save it, copy the audio. I don't care. just take that nugget, pop it in your pocket, because that's for you to help you reveal your superpower. So if that sounds good, then fabulous. If it doesn't sound so good, then okay, try it. Stick around for a few more, because today's episode, this episode number 1, might be the episode that I was talking about, whether you find there is nothing in it for you. Just take this nugget away. Then maybe in the next episode. All right, so come back, keep listening, and we'll do it. But if you like the sound of you being able to find what's my superpower, then I will see you in the next episode. Until then, be super.